Most people have heard of Jack the Ripper. Some know the Zodiac Killer, but few know the name of the man or monster who haunted Cleveland, Ohio in the 1930s. He left no name, no motive, only 12 of them, maybe more, mutilated, decapitated, disposed of like trash. And to this day, the Cleveland torso murderer has never been caught. This is the chilling, unsolved story of one of the most brutal serial killers in American history. Part 1. Cleveland in the 1930s. To understand these murders, we need to understand the setting. Cleveland, during the Great Depression, was a city split in two. Wealth and growth on one side, poverty and desperation on the other. One place embodied this division more than any other. Kingsbury Run, a shantytown, home to drifters, immigrants, the homeless people society had left behind. It was here that the killer would hunt. The police were understaffed. The city was tense. And then, the first body appeared. Part 2. Victim 0. The Lady of the Lake. In September 1934, before the murders officially began, a woman's torso was found at Lake Erie shore. She had been decapitated, her skin washed clean, her body drained of blood. At the time, she was an anomaly. No one suspected a pattern. They called her the Lady of the Lake. But looking back, this may have been the killer's first victim. And he was just getting started. Part 3. The torso murder spree begins. A year later, in 1935, two young boys found the lower half of a woman's torso. The upper half was discovered buried nearby. Her head was missing. 3 months later, another body, a man, this time, dismembered, head gone. He had been castrated, mutilated post-mortem. Police were horrified by the precision of the cuts. This wasn't rage. This was surgical. The press exploded. They called the killer the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. The public panicked. Police began round-the-clock patrols. Then another victim, and another. In one case, the body had been treated with lime to speed decomposition. In another, limbs were neatly stacked in a basket under a bridge. The killer was organized, methodical, and completely anonymous. Part 4. Who were the victims? At least 12 people have been officially tied to the torso murderer, but experts say the real number could be 20 or more. Most of the victims were transient, poor, unidentified. Only a few names are known. Edward Andraschi, a small-time criminal, found decapitated near a railroad. Florence Palillo, a barmaid and sex worker, her remains discovered in wrapped butcher paper. The tattooed man, so named for his body art, he was one of the few clues police had, but his name was never confirmed. The others, just numbers. Victim No. 5, victim No. 9 to the killer. They were disposable. To the city, they were a nightmare. Part 5. Enter Eliot Ness. By 1936, the city was in a panic. With the police overwhelmed, the mayor brought in a heavy hitter. Eliot Ness, famous for leading the charge against Al Capone, now Cleveland's safety director, Ness vowed to catch the killer. He increased patrols, ordered raids of the In one dramatic move, he even burned Kingsbury Run to the ground, hoping to flush the killer out, or at least drive him away. But it didn't work. The bodies kept coming. And the press, they were ruthless. They mocked Ness, saying he could beat Capone, but not a ghost in his own backyard. Part 6. Suspects and Suspicions. Ness and lead detective Peter Murillo focused on one man. Dr. Francis E. Sweeney, a WWI veteran and skilled surgeon. Sweeney was known to have a violent temper and struggled with alcoholism. He had access to the tools and knowledge needed to dismember a body with surgical precision. Ness personally interrogated Sweeney, and he reportedly failed to lie detector tests. But Sweeney had powerful political connections, and worse, he was legally insane. There was no way to prosecute him. Ness had him committed to a mental institution. Quietly, and the murders, they stopped. Did Ness get his man? Or was the real killer still out there? Part 7. Other theories. Some people believe Sweeney was the killer. Others think there may have been more than one, or that a copycat joined in. Another theory. The torso killer moved to another city, possibly Philadelphia, where a similar string of murders occurred in the late 1930s. Still, others believe the killer was a butcher, a rail worker, or a hospital employee. Someone who knew how to hide in plain sight. Someone no one would suspect. Part 8. Why the case remains unsolved. There was no DNA in the 1930s. No security cameras, no centralized fingerprint system. The victims had no families to advocate for them. The police lacked manpower, and after a while, the city just wanted to move on. Files were lost. Witnesses died. Evidence degraded. And Eliot Ness, he died haunted by the case. In private, he told friends he knew who the killer was, but the truth died with him. Today, the Cleveland torso murders are largely forgotten, buried in dusty archives, overshadowed by more famous killers, but the horror remains. 12 lives taken, dozens more shattered, a killer who may have walked away clean, and a city that never got closure. So the next time someone mentions the most terrifying unsolved cases in history, remember Cleveland, remember Kingsbury Run, and remember the butcher who got away. If this case gripped you as much as it did me, hit the like button, subscribe for more true crime deep dives, and drop your theories in the comments. Was it Dr. Sweeney, someone else, or is this one of those mysteries that will never be solved?